San Jacinto Pacific. What you got there? Is clear. Loud, clear. Pacific. 2423 live. We'll get them all.
Isn't it crazy? We spend half of our lives explaining ourselves to people who weren't even listening, smiling when we don't want to, replying when we should have stayed silent, being nice at the cost of our own peace. But here's a question nobody asks you. What if the silence is your greatest power? There are people who enter the room without saying a word, and yet they dominate the space. Not because they shout, not because they seek attention, but because they are rare. And in a world full of noise, rare is powerful. Psychologists call this the scarcity principle. The less available something is, the more valuable it feels. And this applies to people too. The more accessible you are, the more predictable you become. The more predictable you become, the less respect you get. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Not every insult deserves your energy. Not every question deserves an answer. Not every argument deserves your presence. Silence is not weakness. Silence is control. Think about your own life. How many times have you explained yourself to people who never cared to understand you? How many times have you replied just to avoid being called rude? And how many times did you lose respect in the process? Let me tell you this. People who respect you don't need constant explanations. People who love you won't demand constant availability. And those who don't value you won't suddenly respect you just because you over-explained. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing. Let them wonder, let them assume, let them talk. Silence is not coldness. Silence is strategy. Anyone can be loud, but very few can be unreachable. Anyone can respond, but very few can control themselves. Be rare. Be unpredictable. Be silent when it's needed the most. Because silence isn't empty. It's full of power.